Hi guys, welcome to my breakdown prediction video for the upcoming heavyweight title fight. Um, March the 3rd, Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York, between Deontay, Bronze Bomber, Wilder and Lewis King Kong Ortiz. Um, it's a good fight, really looking forward to this fight. It's actually tonight. I've been trying to record this video for a few days now. Um, iMovie wouldn't let me export out of the iOS version because it was longer than 15 minutes for some reason. So I've had to redo it. Kind of glad I did, really, because a few things have emerged since that. A few more thoughts. We saw the weigh-in and public workouts yesterday, I believe. The weight, a little bit sort of surprised, a little bit taken aback by the weight. I just got this. I've got it written down because my memory's awful. So, um, Ortiz came in about 241, which is 17 stone something, I think. It's about normal for him, I think. But Wilder came in at 214, which is about 15 stone, which is I think lighter than he's come in for a while. Tells me that he's it. I mean, it tells us a little bit about maybe how he's planning to approach this fight. It kind of for me it makes it less likely that he's going to go out and try and blow him out. I think he's either planning on fighting the same fight as he did in the first Bermane fight, where he sort of like used his jab and kept him on the back, fought on the back foot for large parts of it, which I think would be probably quite sensible way to deal with things. I think Ortiz just has to kind of let Wilder come to him and try and counterpunch him. He's not good going forward. He and his age also means that it's probably not going to be a good idea for him to try and chase Wilder. He doesn't cut the ring off particularly well. He's a southpaw, but he does some unusual things for a southpaw. Let's just say. Um, Look, I've been adamant all the way through, and I'm not going to change my view. I think Ortiz wins this fight. I've been saying for quite some time that I think that the first time that Deontay Wilder comes up against somebody with a bit of power, um, and some boxing skill, he's going to get found out because just defensively he's awful. I've said it before, guys have heard me. He's got the balance of a newborn deer. He has the footwork of Stephen Hawking. He has absolutely no footwork. I mean, you can find at least two pieces of footage on YouTube of Deontay Wilder falling over, not because he's been hit, but falling over because his technique is so poor, his balance is so poor that he swings, and when he misses, his poor footwork and poor balance mean that he ends up falling over on the deck. Um, this is a guy that moves backwards in straight lines, hands in the air, chin in the air. I mean, it's just some of the things this guy does in the ring is ridiculous. And people say, well, so why has he won so many fights? Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. One, he's got scary power. Two, he look, and I don't want to come across as a Wilder hater here, because the minute you say anything negative about a fighter, you immediately get called a hater. Look, I'm always just going to be honest on this channel, and if people don't like it, they don't have to listen. you know, um, Wilder does have attributes. I'm not saying he doesn't have attributes. He's got speed. His jab is decent. For me, it's improved. I thought his jab was particularly good in what small piece of um, evidence we had in that last Bermane fight. I thought his jab was particularly good. Um, he's obviously got a lot of power. He's quicker on his feet, definitely, than Ortiz. Um, he's got height on his side. He's got reach on his side, and I don't wanna hear no more about BoxRec's accurate stats anymore. I was arguing with somebody in the comments, I think yesterday, about maybe the reach thing might not be accurate and whatnot, and they were kind of like, oh well, it says it here and it says it there and blah blah blah. His reach was supposed to be 84, and in actual fact, the live feed, the live Showtime feed, actually they took an independent height and reach set of measurements, and it turns out that rather than 84-inch reach, Luis Ortiz has a 78-inch reach. So it's actually like 6 inches less than Boxrec had it, and he's actually 6'3" and not 6'4", which a lot of us suspected. Look, he's the smaller guy, in height certainly. He's heavier. I think if he catches Wilder, that could be very, very telling. But look, this is the thing that sort of like does it for me and kind of like settles it for me. I think Wilder is so vulnerable defensively, and Ortiz is so schooled that I just don't see Wilder beating him. Look, could Wilder land a shot? Yeah, of course he could. I think if Wilder connects that right hand with any heavyweight, it's probably game over and lights out. Good night. But I think that's probably very unlikely. For me, this is just my opinion. This is a prediction video. Don't get mad. people seem to get a bit upset when you when you point out the obvious. And to me, if you know what you're looking at when you look in the ring, you've got to be able to see Deontay Wilder's flaws. If you think Deontay Wilder's an elite boxer, then you don't understand what the sweet science actually is. One thing I will say, I've got to give, he's got to get a certain amount of credit for taking this fight. Ortiz isn't a mandatory. He didn't have to take this fight. And so for, and it's just a very low risk, high risk, low reward for me. You're going to really get that much credit for beating Ortiz. He will from me. But a lot of people will just say Ortiz was old. Yeah, Ortiz does look older than 30, 38 or 39 or whatever. 38, I think he's billed as. He does look older than that. But I just think Ortiz is the better fighter. I think as far as boxing skill, fundamentals, I think Luis Ortiz is levels above Deontay Wilder. I really do. One thing that's been kind of come into the headlines, well, not the headlines, but it's been going about social media and stuff the last few days, has been this thing about Luis Ortiz's hand. One of the channels were filming an interview at the public workout in which they noticed a lump on the back of Luis Ortiz's hand, and then there was this room. He's got hand injury, blah blah blah. What I can kill this dead right here. I found footage, and I could. If anybody wants to see it, I'll. If anybody wants a link to this, just ask in the comments, and I'll send a link. I was going to include it in the video, but time's getting on. I've got a few things to do today, so I just wanted to get this sort of like done and uploaded as quickly as possible. When I saw it, I was like, shit, I might have to actually check. If his hand's injured, this is grounds to change my prediction. So I went looking for old footage, and I found footage of an interview after the Dave Allen fight that IFL done, and in that clip, Luis Ortiz puts his hand to his head, and you can see this lump, whatever it is, on his left hand. It's on the back of his left hand, sort of like just close to the wrist. Was still there. It looks like some sort of abscess, maybe. I don't know, some kind of like anomaly on his hand. It was there then. He's had. I mean, he beat the shit out of Dave Allen with his hand like that. So for me, it's a nothing thing. The thing is, like, Ortiz is just so calm in the ring. You know, he is not athletic, but he's not a guy that relies on that. He's a guy that relies on his fundamentals. He's a guy that waits to counter punch. He's very, very measured. He's very, very calm. 350 odd amateur fights, lost a few times to Adlan Salis, who, was a good talent himself, but just lacked the dedication and I guess application, and had problems with his lifestyle and weight and stuff, I think. But you know other than that, not too many losses in a long amateur career as well. You know, I I don't know what else to say on this fight. I look, if Wilder wins, as I say, if Wilder wins, he's gonna get credit from me. I do think it's Ortiz, outside of AJ, Parker, Povetkin. I think uh, Fury, if he's back to his best and stuff. I think Ortiz is just about the best fighter, and even Povetkin's questionable. His last performance wasn't fantastic. He's about the best opponent you could get, and so he will. I'll definitely give him his credit if he if he wins this fight. Um, but I just think it's. I think the fact that he has been fighting such low opposition for so long is just gonna it's he's gonna come up short. We've seen this recently. I can't remember who it was. Somebody that hadn't been fighting, been fighting real low level oppositions, opponents. Sorry, and came up against somebody decent and came unstuck. I can't remember who it was now, but I think that's going to happen with Wilder. I I see him losing this fight. So my prediction is Luis Ortiz by stoppage, and I think he'll stop him midway point. I don't see this fight going the distance. Like every eventuality I look at tells me that it's probably not going to go the distance. You know, and so yeah, my prediction is Ortiz by stoppage. Let me know what you think, guys. Do you think that Ortiz's age? I mean, of course. I mean, the couple of points I suppose I should mention is that the couple of things that could be in Wilder's favour is the fact Luis Ortiz's age, of course. Yeah. The other thing is the PEDs, the elephant in the room. I may as well address this. The PED thing. He's clearly failed a couple of PED tests. He's probably clean at this point. How much of an effect will that have on him? If he was dirty, at the which was the fight, the Latif Coyote, I think, fight, and then again just before the Wilder fight, then you have to just assume that he's probably dirty. When he beat the living shit out of Bright Jennings as well, and for me in that fight, he looked quality, he looked a class fighter in that fight. He does seem to have lost a step. He doesn't do well chasing people. I think if Wilder can keep him on the back foot, keep him at range, it could be difficult work for Ortiz. But I just think Wilder is gonna try and take him out at some point and leave himself open. And I think Ortiz has all the tools to punish Wilder, heavily punish him for that. So yeah, let me know what you think, guys. How do you see the fight going? If you've enjoyed the content, please do us a favour and hit like. If you haven't enjoyed the content, hit dislike. If you would like to hear more waffle from me, hit the subscribe. I've got a few videos coming up soon. I'm going to be doing a AJ Parker, obviously. I'm 80-90% finished compiling a pound for pound list. I said I'd never do a pound for pound list, but a couple of people have asked me for one, and fuck it, when in Rome. Do you know what I mean? So I have done a bit of a pound for pound list. There might be a couple of surprises on there, especially in the lower half of that list, and perhaps even at the top half of it. Anybody that knows me will probably know who the sort of fighters I've got at the top. But yeah, cheers for watching, guys, and I will do a post fight as well, and if I'm wrong, I'll come on and I'll own it, you know, and I'll definitely give Wilder his credit. But yeah, I see the world title changing hands this weekend. Cheers, guys.